Hey students, Mr. LeBlanc here with everything you need to know. The quick hits and takeaways from the Mexican-American War. Very short, very sweet, very to the point, very direct. You know how I do it. So we left off with the Texas Revolution. We left off with Texas just got its independence. It wants to become part of the United States. The United States officially does annex it. Once that happens, tensions start to grow between the United States and Mexico. We're a little bit concerned, but not that much. In fact, President James Polk almost wants to instigate a war. He wants to almost start a war with Mexico simply because he wants to achieve this idea of manifest destiny. He knows that if we fight a war with Mexico, we'll probably win and we'll probably get more land. Like, it's that easy. So what he does is Texas and Mexico are actually arguing about where the territory ends. What I mean by that is um, Texas thought that the border between Texas and Mexico was actually the Rio Grande. Mexico believed it was a few hundred miles north, and this was a disputed territory, basically. So, knowing this, what Polk does, President Polk is very clever, is he sends U.S. troops down to the Rio Grande. Now, again, at this time period, the Rio Grande is technically in Mexico. So we send troops knowingly into Mexico. The Mexican government, just like the United States government would do if the roles were reversed, sends the Mexican army uh, to intercept and tell the United States troops to turn around. Ultimately, 9 Americans are killed in this skirmish. It wasn't necessarily a huge battle. Instantly taking this news, President Polk goes to Congress and says American bloodshed was lost. We need to declare war because American soldiers had died. Most of Congress eats this up and was like, yes, Americans died. A few people don't. Senator Abraham Lincoln actually asks for a spot resolution. He actually asks, where did the battle actually take place? President Polk did not disclose this information. He did not tell anyone that it happened at the Rio Grande, which again was Mexico. Um, and ultimately, almost every senator and congressman wanted to go to war. So war begins. It was an easy victory after easy victory for the United States. Uh, the Mexican army fought very, very proudly to defend their homeland. The problem was they had horrible leadership and lacked the training that the United States military had. So it's a very moderately short war. I think about 2,000 Americans died, opposed to 250,000 Mexican soldiers died. And finally, on February 2nd of 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed. And basically what this is it established the border at the Rio Grande. It also seceded New Mexico and California to the United States. Ceded, basically just let them be their own independent state slash country, which obviously would become states very quickly. Now, this is very important. Separate from the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was also the Mexican Cession. What that was is the United States said, okay, we now have these two lands. How about we buy more land from you to complete this idea of manifest destiny? So the Mexican Cession is when we paid Mexico $15 million, same price as Louisiana Purchase, and we obtained the rest of California, the rest of New Mexico, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, Wyoming. Basically, we bought the entire southwest United States from Mexico for $15 million. Actually larger in total landmass than the Louisiana Purchase. So unfortunately, James Polk was right. If we went to war with them, we would get more land. With the signing of the Mexican Secession, we ultimately achieved manifest destiny. We owned from sea to shining sea. We owned from the Atlantic coast all the way to California and the Pacific Ocean. Let me know if you have any questions.